Have you ever felt like you were constantly juggling work, family, and building a business and still searching for the elusive work-life balance? What if I told you that balance isn't the answer? Hi, I'm Ola. In today's video, we're going to talk about how striving and chasing work-life balance could be setting you up for failure, and how embracing work-life harmony could be the answer to you managing your responsibilities and achieving your audacious goals. Let's get into it. First, let's go ahead and talk about the concept of balance. Now, I've done some research, so let's start with the definition of balance. Balance means an even distribution of weight, allowing you to remain steady. But in real life, let's think about it, especially when you're trying to build a business while working full time and taking care of your family. Is there really a such thing as balance? To me, the idea of balance is a myth. I was talking to my son and he asked, well, what is work-life balance? And I simply told him it's the idea that you can split up your time, your attention, and your energy evenly between job, work, business, we'll put all that in here, and life outside of that. Family, social life, not vocational, but family, social life, other relationships. And the idea is that you can split up your time, your attention, and your energy evenly between the two. Typically, that is what people are talking about when they're saying work-life balance, but that is a myth. First off, for those of us who have jobs and we're working 9 to 5, and even those who are full-time in their business, you're spending anywhere from 10 to 12 hours just doing that. There could, and that's an egregious underestimation, because we're not even going to talk about getting ready and prepared, travel time, all of that. But you're spending, we'll say, 10 to 12 hours at that alone. And then you have 8 hours of sleep, 6 to 8 hours of sleep. That leaves you with what? 6 hours? 4 to 6 hours? So essentially, you're given 4 to 6 hours, 5 days a week to tend to life outside of work and business. The idea of balance is a myth. The other thing about balance, and we can put it in a different context, is think about losing weight. When you have the idea to lose weight, it requires a sacrifice. The sacrifice of time, the sacrifice of energy, and the sacrifice of attention. You're spending more time exercising, less time socializing. You're spending more time focusing on what you're eating and what you're not eating. But essentially, you're spending more time exercising. So that time that you're using to exercise is taken away from something else. I know I'm doing the 75 hard, and that's 2 days. That's 45-minute workouts a day. That's 90 minutes gone from my 24 hours. So just putting it in context like that, the sacrifice is required in order to get a specific result. There's a theme here. Think about it this way. Life is seasonal. It's not linear and it's not static. So every day is not the same. Every age is not the same. Your life is seasonal. You're going to go through ebbs and flows of dealing with certain situations, having different priorities, things of that nature. When we look in the Bible, scripture tells us in Ecclesiastes 3:1 that to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. This means that there is a specific time for every activity and purpose. And each season of life brings different priorities and different focuses. That's something we have to honor when we're talking about searching for work-life balance. Instead, we want to go through work-life harmony. We want to find and integrate work-life. So I have a question for you. Have you ever experienced a balanced week? I have not. Yeah, I can't say that I've ever experienced a balanced week. I've experienced ideal weeks, but not a balanced week. And if you're like most of us, you probably haven't. Instead of balance, we often end up with stress and with guilt and with anxiety and compromise productivity because we're so focused on trying to achieve a balanced life, a work-life balance, and we're not finding it. And because we're not finding it, it can lead you to thinking that you're not enough, you're not doing enough, you don't bring enough to the table, you should be doing more, or you might think something is wrong when in fact, that's just the way things are. Life comes in seasons. There are times when work is going to demand more attention. There are times when your business is going to demand more attention. There are times when your family is going to demand more attention. Relationships are going to demand more attention. This is paramount for us to understand because we can't always expect it to be, well, it's 20% this and 40% that, and then 30% that. And then 10% extra that you can do with what it doesn't work that way. Sometimes I do wish it did, but we're grown enough to understand and know and realize if we just pay attention, that's not the way it works. Each season is going to require a different level of prioritization from us. It's going to require trade-offs. It's going to require sacrifices. Recognizing and accepting those trade-offs are going to be key, or is going to be key in whatever we do. So, how do we move from balance into harmony? Harmony is all about integrating our professional and our personal responsibilities in the way that is both, or it allows for flexibility, but it also allows for adaptability. For me, that is chef's kiss. So with harmony, it lets you weave together your work and life seamlessly. This is going to help you with reducing stress and enhancing your priorities, enhancing your creativity, also boosting your productivity. Now, let me tell you this. Anything that is going to help me boost my productivity because it's reducing that stress and it reduces the pressure that I may feel about searching and needing balance is a winner. But harmony acknowledges that our work and our personal lives are interconnected. Yes, what you do for work, your business, your job, it is interconnected into your personal life because you're bringing yourself to work and you're in business and you're bringing work and business into your personal life. But they're interconnected and there's a natural synergy between them. If you don't have that synergy or you try to fight that synergy, that is what is going to bring on that more pressure, bring on more anxiety. The stress comes up. The stress comes up. So let's go into shifting your mindset. The first step to embracing harmony is going to be changing your mindset. You have to accept that everything is not a priority. Everything is not a fire. Some things will have to wait. Everything is not a priority. Everything is not a fire. Some things are going to wait. Flexibility is better than rigidity. We want to be malleable. We want to be adaptable. As long as you set your boundaries, you can stay on track. Now, flexibility doesn't mean that you bend every which way the wind blows. Instead, you have your boundaries in place, and your flexibility allows you to bend as you need to within those boundaries. That is what we want. Another thing to consider and to keep at the top of your mind is that communication in a clear way is also vital. You have to make sure that your family, your colleagues, your clients, your friends, that they understand and they know your needs and your boundaries. We have a habit, I'll say for myself, but I know a lot of women who have a habit of having expectations in their head, having desires and needs, but never communicating them or not communicating them effectively. When we don't communicate those needs effectively, when we don't communicate those boundaries effectively and consistently, there's going to be a violation of those. And when that violation comes, we can get very frustrated, sometimes confrontational. But we have to take a look in the mirror and be confrontational and frustrated with ourselves if we haven't communicated those expectations clearly. This is going to help you fulfill your responsibilities without feeling overwhelmed. That overwhelm happens because you haven't communicated clearly. So, anytime you're feeling overwhelmed and stressed, ask yourself, have I communicated my needs and my boundaries clearly? If not, take some time and revisit with whoever you need to revisit them with and communicate clearly. Okay, so now we're going to talk about some practical steps. How can, talking about it is one thing, but how can I really put this into action? Let's talk about that. So, some practical steps to achieve harmony, work-life harmony. Start by identifying your current season. Ask yourself some questions such as what needs attention right now? What are your priorities? Is it your business? Is it your job? Is it your family? That's going to be the first question you want to ask yourself, and be honest with yourself. The next is you want to set your priorities according to what needs the most attention right now. So set your priorities and determine the trade-offs. That's going to be a big one. Determine the trade-offs that you're willing to make in order to get the desired result. So the first thing we're doing is we're identifying what needs the most attention right now. Is it your business? Is it your job? Is it your family? Is it you? Because sometimes we need to take care of ourselves before we can pay attention to anything else. But what needs the most attention right now? Once you do that, set your priorities and determine what trade-offs you're willing to make. You have to focus on key areas. But no, this could be a great journaling exercise because a lot of times we may want to just point out something like, oh, my business needs more attention right now. But take some time to really think through this and journal through it. You'll be surprised. You may get an answer that's different than what your initial response is or what your initial reaction is. So journal through it. Ask yourself those questions. Once you've come to a decision and you know the answers to those questions, create a schedule. Now, listen, if you are my people who are like, listen, the day is just going to move and I'll move it when I feel it. I'll do it when I feel it. That's not going to work effectively or efficiently. Come here, come here, come here. There are better ways to do it. We're going to talk about that right now. All right, so create a flexible schedule. It doesn't have to be a rigid schedule. Again, we're not looking for rigidity. We're looking for flexibility and adaptability. So create a flexible schedule. Plan your week. It can be, look, I'm getting all kinds of alerts. Plan your week, but allow room for adjustments. Always create white space in your schedule. Your schedule doesn't have to be, listen, I need to get it like it needs to be done right here, right now. Unless it is a priority that needs to be done right here, right now. And don't do the mental game of I can put it off to tomorrow. If you can do it that day, do it that day. Your future self thanks you in advance. Now, we understand that life happens. This is the reason why it's a flexible schedule. And this is also the reason why you're putting white space or you're not scheduling everything every hour of your day. Because you want to be able to adapt. You may be able to do things sooner or you may have to do them later within your week. This is the reason why you're creating a flexible schedule. This is going to be key to maintaining that harmony. Because again, life happens. You have to be able to move and shake the way you need to when that occurs. And you want to be able to move and shake in a way that it doesn't completely take you out of your momentum, because you're still building up momentum. Many successful people have embraced the idea or the concept of harmony to achieve their goals. They didn't strive for a perfect balance because they understand that it doesn't work that way. If you I've read a lot of autobiographies and biographies of people who they have a schedule. They put everything in their schedule. If it's not in their schedule, it's not going to get done. But they also have flexibility in their schedule. That allows for them to be adaptable when life happens. Because again, you can't control 100% of your time. Unfortunately, you can't. Stuff happens. You cannot control everything. A lot of us who are control freaks or reformed control freaks, that's a hard pill to swallow, but that is a necessary pill to swallow. You cannot control everything. We can't control everything, but we can control our response and our reaction to everything. So that's something that you want to be mindful of. Personally, when I stopped chasing balance, life became more fluid for me. I was able to find my flow state because I started focusing on harmony. I found more peace in my productivity. I became more productive. I was able to move and shake the way I needed to when it came to, again, managing the business, managing a job, and also tending to my family. I'm a whole wife and a whole mama out here. So stuff happens. And that shift made all the difference. When I learned to clearly communicate what I needed, then it was better for my family to be able to be receptive to what I was working on or what I needed help with. They're more receptive to help out because they understood, oh, this is what you need. So let me give you what you need. Because 9 times out of 10, that's what they want. Well, I'm going to say 10 times out of 10. They just tell me what you need. My husband says that a lot. Just tell me what you need. What do you need? And men, they're solutionists. So they're trying to find a solution. So give them the solution, ladies. So yeah, once I was able to let go of the control or what I thought I was controlling, because let's be clear, I wasn't. Once I was able to let go of the control and instead move towards just, harmonizing my life, not necessarily being super rigid with what I did, but just finding those pockets of productivity and finding those pockets, I was able to move and shake in a better way. To recap, chasing work-life balance can set you up for stress and guilt. So instead, we want to work towards work-life harmony. You got work, we got life, and we're integrating them for a harmonious lifestyle. And when we understand life seasons, we're able to plan and prepare accordingly. Again, I just want to encourage you to evaluate your current season, find out what it is that needs to be the priority, find out what the necessary trade-offs are, make the decision, be committed to the trade-offs, communicate clearly your needs and your boundaries, and then create that schedule and put the things in the schedule and then follow your schedule. Follow your schedule. It's not enough to plan things. You need to actually take action and follow it all the way through to completion. So remember, life isn't about balance. It's about finding harmony and thriving in that harmony so that you can achieve your audacious goals. Until next time, I'll see you soon.